Happy Monday, everyone. This is The Street Live. I'm Jeff Marks, Senior Portfolio Analyst at Action Alerts Plus, standing live on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange with Jim Cramer. Jim, markets are a little flat today, but it was after a really strong week last week. What are you thinking here?
Well, I got to tell you, when I saw these Chinese stocks down, I said, oh my God, we could really be in trouble. And then I saw Boeing down 5, and that made me worried. And I know that the semis were weak. We have a lot of semis. But then Boeing's the bank's trying to make a stand. I do think that Horton was a very important call. That stock was down. They're trying to stabilize that. And then energy coming back. Energy is a sign that cyclicals have life. So I say that there are enough sectors that are doing better today that we could be in the digestion phase, which isn't bad. I'll take that after last week.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about D.R. Horton. So they reported last week, but you always say, from what I know from following you for years, is that housing punches above its weight, and it is the most important industry to look at. So what did the D.R. Horton conference call have to tell you about the state of the housing market?
I want to just say that I thought the stock traded wrongly when it was down. I mean, the call was about demand. Demand is so strong that there's wait lists, and a company like Horton is very responsible. They didn't want to sell a home, say for August 12th delivery, and then when the person moves out of their old house, there's no house ready. So they're slowing things down. And people thought that slowing down, no matter what, is a weakness in demand. That's nonsense. They just need more whirlpool. And they need more. At one point they called out there's not enough windows. So I thought that the call showed you that there could be a very long cycle where we go back to 2 million homes. We used to build 2 million homes in this country. We had far fewer people. So I like the cycle. I'm not usually a guy who likes the home builders. I do like Toldo. I do like Lennar. And I thought the Horton call was very strong.
Yeah, I do want to go real quick to the punching above its weight, because when you buy a house, you're also buying new appliances, electronics, furnishings.
Yeah, I mean, think of a lot of white-collar jobs that are involved. And one of the things, there was a Lowe's downgrade today. And in a downgrade, they're now putting where we could be wrong. Lowe's has more do-it-yourself, and Home Depot is more pro. So where we could be wrong is renovation. Well, I mean, great. I can tell you renovation is going to be incredibly strong. I thought the downgrade was a coherent call, but the fact is that I think that once people get into a home and they're like, you have to used homes, whatever home, yeah, they do some renovation because people are now using the home as office. And I think that the piece was dated in the sense that we are now in a hybrid economy. There's no doubt about it. And I think that I just keep hearing story after story about people who are not going back, and the variants, of course, which make it so that you feel like if you go back, you're risking being sick.
Is it also with the housing trend, people viewing homes as an investment as well? That's something that I've learned from Carol Tomei, former CFO of Home Depot, who you've had on the show, now CEO of UPS.
Her, I think that the home's been a great investment. Now, let's understand that we're not in its 2008-9 period. People are not buying homes to flip. They happen to have very good FICO scores, and there's a lot of documentation. Loan to value is really good. But in terms of assets, we got homes and we got stocks. And I think that homes represent a great value with interest rates this low.
All right, let's go back to the earnings of today so far. We've heard from Hasbro, OTIS Elevator, that's just to name a few, Lockheed Martin as well. Anything sticking out on the earnings pictures so far today?
It seems like no matter what you do, I mean, Judith Marks, whom I have on tonight, delivered another fantastic number.
No relation
No, that's right. No relation, Philadelphia. And I do find that when I see these muted reactions, to me it says they're waiting to hear what the analysts say. For instance, there was an unbelievable quarter by Honeywell. I went through this thing, hammer and tongs. And what Honeywell's doing is trying to become a different company. And in the shift, it's like when Adobe became a different company. In the shift, it's losing adherence and confusing people. I read a good piece in Seeking Alpha this weekend about the changes and how it's undervalued. And people are saying, well, listen, it's got a high multiple. Well, it's a deserving multiple. So I think that a lot of the cyclicals are trying to become different, and let's give them some due.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about Honeywell. It's an Action Alerts Plus name later on our video right after this. But one thing that we stuck out, right, they're really reinventing themselves, whether it's in quantum computing, a lot of software businesses. It's just not an old school industrial.
No, and warehouse managing, building as a service. Look, they've had to make changes because aerospace is weak. I urge people to think about what happens when the variants are solved and travel comes back, and think about what Gary Kelly said, from the CEO of Southwest. They don't have enough planes. And so I think that Honeywell, you buy it now when it's doing all these other things, and you're going to see it hit on all cylinders when the variants are going to be solved. And I do think the variants are going to be solved because the UK is headed toward herd immunity. We're not far. We're not far behind them.
All right, now let's turn our attention back to some companies that are reporting after the bell tonight. The big one, obviously, Tesla after the bell tonight. What do you think about Tesla?
Well, I think Tesla is, he's a showman. And it's hard to imagine him hurting his cause. I think that China is going to shock people to be good. That's my feeling. I'll talk about Berlin, where that is. But I think he's going to spend a lot of time talking about the pickup. And there I'm more circumspect because we own the premier pickup company, which is Ford. So he's going up against a Ford Electric, and Ford has the Mach-E that's selling very well. So what he has to deal with is, for the first time, is competition. I think he's going to make claims about the competition that can't be backed up. I mean, Lucid today comes public. Lucid's got a faster car, a little more exciting car. Let's see what he does with the challenge of others. That will be what I want to hear.
Let's talk a little bit about Lucid. Now, you've had CEO Peter Rawlinson on the show, and he's formerly of Tesla. And you've been in the Lucid Air before. You test drove that. What was that experience like?
I was pleasantly surprised. But what he did that I wasn't ready for, because I was in the back seat, was he threw me, actually. Because he went 0 to 80 in 3 seconds. And it was almost like, look, I didn't experience space like Bezos, but this is space-like. So I think that it is a gorgeous car that will have a lot of buyers. But remember also, the Ocean is coming from Fisker. There's one. It seems like there's one every day. A lot of competition, and a lot of them being built by Magna, which is down because they made an acquisition. MGA, I like that stock. So let's stay focused on the idea that this is the first quarter where Musk will have to trash the competition. Explain to you why you don't want to buy a Lucid.
All right, you mentioned Bezos and his space ambitions. Let's talk about Amazon because they are in the headlines now. It might be some unconfirmed rumors, but there was a report out there that they could be interested in accepting Bitcoin on their platform in 2022, and that they're also exploring the idea of creating their own digital coin. Now, this has ignited a huge rally in Bitcoin. Call it a short squeeze, maybe. Yes. But what do you think about the headlines? What do you think about the Death Star potentially getting into crypto?
Well, I thought it was a unique moment. If you're a technician, you saw that it had hung up there, that they couldn't trash Bitcoin, couldn't get it below 30,000. So it seems a little, and there were heavy shorts. It seems a little, let's say, too timely that suddenly we read about Amazon, but it's unconfirmed. I want to see what Brian Ostrovsky has to say, the CEO, because I'm not so sure this is happening. I mean, maybe if they have, no, I'm not sure it's happening. I mean, maybe Square's doing something. Maybe MasterCard's doing something, certainly not as good as Square. Robinhood, but it would shock me if they were just doing it nakedly because they don't want that kind of risk.
You would think they'd probably get asked, Brian Olsavsky, CFO of Amazon. You think he'll probably get asked this on the earnings call this week?
I know. Right? I mean, I think that this could just be an unconfirmed. We've not been able to confirm the rumor, but holy cow, did it ignite the group. And, I think that the group does feel very short squeezes.
What about Tether, James? Now we just heard this. Now you've been very outspoken about Tether, and we learned this morning that there's a criminal probe into potential bank fraud.
Right.
Is this a risk? Is this what you've been thinking towards?
Yeah. Well, look, I think this is. I mean, if you go over the case that New York State filed against them, which had to do with the opaque nature, and New York State does not allow Tether to do its business in stablecoin here, it sounds like they're bringing the same case. And I was shocked that other states didn't get involved because the case was significant. But because They settled for $18 million. I think people say it's not a big deal, but the Justice Department is always a big deal.
All right,
You gotta watch that because that's between the fifth and sixth largest buyer of commercial paper out there.
all right. Big week for IPOs too. Robinhood expected to to go public this Thursday. Now, over the weekend, they did a roadshow, and usually companies, when they do roadshows to come public, they go and talk to all the big hedge funds and the major banks. But instead, they did a live stream presentation and of their financials, and they also plan on giving 35% of the shares that they're going to raise to go public to its people that use the app. So what do you think about Robinhood under the ticker symbol HOOD?
Hood. Okay, when the street came public in 1999, I went to my underwriters, Goldman Sachs, and I said, guys, look, everybody who has a subscription, I want to give them stock. And they said, no, you can't do that. I said, well, where does it say you can't do that? You can't do it. And it was kind of one of those circular reasoning things where I said, well, no, I really want to go around or whatever because it's important to reward people. And they said, well, no, that you can't do that. Now, suddenly Robinhood, boy, are they doing it. Now, here's the issue. If the print is broken, I think the stock's going to be okay, but I have no idea, and I'm done trying to call where these stocks open because what happens is there'll be this flurry, and you'll say it's looking 40, 45, and I say don't buy it above 40. People then think, oh, he likes it at 39. No, God no. What I'm trying to say is don't get too excited. But this one they could be very excited on. It concerns me that if the undercapitalized people buy Robinhood and the stock goes down, will they then not be able to put up more money to buy more Robinhood? So this is the most, look, you could say that Apple's important, Amazon's important, Alphabet's important, Facebook's important. No, this is really important.
Yeah, and something that I've learned for you whenever there's always a rush of IPOs that usually a lot of times people have to sell something to buy something. Do you think that could be something? Should we be watching the meme stocks later this week?
Totally. Well, right now they're trying to run them as usual, AMC. It doesn't seem to matter to them that there's very few people going to the movies or that the variant's going to hurt AMC. They don't care. I know that GameStop, again, we don't know what's going on with GameStop, but they just want to run them. Bed Bath is not being run by the memes. I think it's being run by the fundamentals. Yeah, and I think that's a buy.
I think I did see they announced a new strategic initiative this morning.
Yeah. Look, I think they're doing everything right. They're doing logistics right. They're doing handheld right. They are... Mark Tritton's doing a fantastic job. The new store is worth going to if you're in New York on 18th Street. It's spectacular.
All right. On a lighter note, you were tweeting out some pictures of your garden this weekend and some of the bounty that you've harvested over the weekend. Give us an update there.
Okay. I put together 2 trestles, and because I was trying to get the cucumbers to stop picking on the tomatoes, but have them go straight up rather than to the right because they have these tendrils that go like this all night and they hook on. And I succeeded, but now the tower is bigger than I am. It's like a tower of cuke power. And my wife won't let me do any more pickling because she says it stinks up the house, which really bothers me because these are pickling pickles. And if you let them go too long, like I did for the first ones, they don't keep well. So that's doing well. I'll be saucing in 2 weeks like a banshee.
That's what I look forward to.
I'll be saucing like a banshee.
Incredible. Yeah.
We are going to have so many tomatoes, and they actually started this week. I've got really good herbs. My eggplant disappointing. My zucchini very disappointing. My pepper's behind because I need more fertilizer. I don't like to use fertilizer, but I'd say that overall, the tomatoes are going to carry the day. And I had fabulous cucumber salad with tomatoes last night. I like it. I also did a sweating of cucumber and scoop out and then salad on Saturday night. I got way too many cukes, and I'm harvesting them.
All right. Well, we look forward to the next update there.
Pictures and everything.
All right. That's the show for today. I'm Jeff Marks. We'll see you tomorrow.